If you thought GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro were the end of the weight loss drug revolution, think again. There's a new medication coming down the pipeline that has researchers stunned, investors buzzing, and social media already losing its mind. It's called Retatrutide, and in early studies, it produced something we've never seen before in any obesity clinical trial. But while the hype is loud, the science paints a much more complicated picture, especially for anyone over 60. Right now, Retatrutide is not FDA approved, it's still in clinical trials. But the reason the excitement is so high is because Retatrutide works on 3 hormonal pathways instead of 1. You've probably heard a lot about GLP-1s. They slow digestion, reduce appetite, regulate blood sugar, and influence parts of the brain that control cravings. What makes Retatrutide different is that it also activates GIP receptors and glucagon receptors at the same time. This triple action is why so many people are calling it Mounjaro on steroids, even though that's not scientifically accurate, but you know how the internet works. Here's what those pathways actually do. GLP-1 reduces appetite and helps stabilize blood sugar. GIP may improve insulin response and could help preserve lean mass. And glucagon increases energy expenditure, meaning your body burns more calories at rest. In theory, this combination creates a coordinated attack on weight from multiple angles. You eat less, you store less, and you burn more. It's like stepping on the brakes and the gas pedal at the same time, only in a very controlled way. The most talked about study so far is the 2023 Phase 2 trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine. This is where Retatrutide shocked the medical community. In this randomized, double-blind trial, participants lost up to 24% of their total body weight in 48 weeks. For context, semaglutide, that's Wegovy, averages about 15% at 68 weeks. Tirzepatide, that's Mounjaro, and Zepbound hits around 21% in trials lasting over a year. Retatrutide showed a higher percentage in less time. That's why headlines exploded. But headlines only tell half the story. Let's talk about who was in the trial, and more importantly, who wasn't. People with significant cardiovascular disease were excluded. People with uncontrolled diabetes or severe kidney issues were also excluded. Many adults over 60 manage at least one of these conditions. So even though the results look impressive, they don't automatically translate to the real-world population that is most desperate for help. Something else that didn't get enough attention: the side effects. GLP-1 medications already have well-documented gastrointestinal symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, and sometimes stomach paralysis in susceptible individuals. With Retatrutide, these symptoms were reported even more frequently at higher doses. There were also increases in heart rate, elevations in pancreatic enzymes, and some early signals that clinicians will need to monitor closely in older adults once larger trials begin. And that leads us to an important myth that Retatrutide is already attracting: the belief that this medication somehow avoids the problems seen with GLP-1s because it works on multiple receptors. That's not true. In fact, until long-term studies are completed, it may actually carry more unknowns. Another myth floating around YouTube and TikTok is that Retatrutide protects muscle mass because of its GIP component. That is a misunderstanding of the research. GIP receptor activity may influence lean mass retention, but the early Retatrutide trials did not publish detailed data on muscle preservation. What we do know is that any medication that causes rapid weight loss, no matter the mechanism, will reduce muscle mass unless someone is intentionally doing strength training and consuming adequate protein. This is especially critical for people over 60 because muscle loss accelerates naturally with age, and losing too much increases the risk of falls, fractures, and reduced mobility. Living life as a thinner, more frail person is not what we are going for. There's also a myth that Retatrutide will eliminate rebound weight gain. We see this idea with every new drug. The reality is that obesity is a chronic condition, and when someone stops a medication that regulates appetite and metabolism, appetite signals return to baseline. In semaglutide studies, people regained about 2/3 of their lost weight within a year of stopping the drug. With tirzepatide, early discontinuation data shows similar patterns. No one knows whether retatrutide will behave differently because the trials haven't run long enough. So when people online claim that this is the permanent weight loss drug, that is marketing and not science. This is also a good moment to address another myth many older adults have about GLP-1 drugs in general, that they're only for people who want to lose vanity weight. In reality, these drugs were designed for metabolic disease. But the flip side is also true. They are not magic. They don't replace nutrition, movement, sleep, or muscle-building activities that protect long-term health. Even in the retatrutide trial, participants followed lifestyle counseling, and the drug was used as part of a structured program and not an isolated quick fix. And speaking of structure, there's one more scientific nuance most people haven't heard. The glucagon activation in retatrutide could be both a benefit and a risk. While it increases metabolic rate, glucagon also raises blood sugar. In people with diabetes or prediabetes, especially older adults with fluctuating glucose control, this interaction needs careful medical oversight. These are details that don't go viral on social media, but they matter. So where does this leave people over 60 who are curious about retatrutide? Here's the real bottom line. Retatrutide is scientifically exciting. It may well become the most effective medication for obesity ever developed, but it is far from fully understood. It is not approved, it has not been tested long term, and older adults, who often have more complex health profiles, will need much more data before clinicians can confidently say who should or shouldn't take it. Weight loss over 60 is not just about lowering a number on the scale. It's about preserving muscle, protecting bone health, maintaining independence, stabilizing blood sugar, and improving overall longevity. No medication, not Ozempic, not Mounjaro, not Retatrutide, can replace the basics. But they can be powerful tools when used safely, intentionally, and under medical guidance. As new research emerges, we'll continue breaking it down in simple, science-backed language here on Modern Wellness Lab. So if you want updates on Retatrutide, deep dive into GLP-1 science, and honest myth-busting without the sensationalism, make sure you're subscribed. And tell me in the comments, does a triple hormone weight loss drug sound exciting, or does it make you nervous? I'd love to hear where you stand. If this video brought you value, hit the like button so YouTube knows to share it with more people who want factual, trustworthy information. And as always, your wellness is worth the investment, and the more informed you are, the better decisions you can make. This video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always speak with your healthcare provider before starting, stopping, or changing any medication, especially if you're over 60 or managing chronic conditions.